kudos to you. It's not an easy thing to be learning. For the fact that you went to, I've done this before, not the GhanaSIG, West African SIG last year. And for the fact that you were able to go through the online, it's a lot too. And you are here. Please give yourselves a round of applause. So for me, I like to ask questions. I like to understand who I'm with. So lady, please you. Yes. Are you Ghanaian? Okay.
Yeah.
So why did you join the SIG this year while I'm setting up?
Okay.
Let's talk.
So I joined because I realized that I want to go into internet governance, but with the youth.
Okay.
Yes, children. And so when I saw the link, I was really, excited to try my hands on. And lo and behold, I got accepted. So I knew that God was opening that path for me. Yeah.
All right. You know, when I was just coming in the car, I prayed a prayer. I said, hey, how am I? Why am I? Oh, you pray about it that you come to talk. God should help you. But I also prayed a prayer that this session I'm having should be an answer to somebody's prayer and give clarity to somebody who has been praying about something. So as you brought that, anointing meet anointing. Please, who is not Ghanaian here? Who is not Ghanaian here? Oh, I love to see when there are foreigners among us. You're welcome to Ghana. Gentlemen, where are you from?
I'm from Benin.
Okay, so, ça va? Ça va?
Ça va bien. Et chez vous?
Yes, that's good. Gentlemen, and you?
Yeah, I'm from Benin too.
You are from Benin too. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And there was a lady who wasn't Ghanaian as well. Madam, where are you from? Okay, nice to meet you. It's good to see.
I'm Ghanaian from America.
It's good to meet somebody with the same hairstyle as me.
Yes, you are beautiful. Good morning or afternoon now.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear?
Oh, why did you join? Why did you join? Give it to her. Why did you join?
I love to learn, first of all. There it is. I love to learn, first of all. I recently started my transition to Ghana to live. And so I've been trying to get my feet grounded. And I have a lot of things on my
To-do list.
Yeah, and on my portfolio, I have a lot of certificates and degrees in some things. But it's just because I love to learn. But anyways, also my husband is a fellow. So after he finished, I learned a lot and I got very interested. I know that I can go far, and that is where I want to go. Most of the things, it was a stop. It wasn't much more to climb. So here, I want to be next to Mr. Ray and Sarata and Jacob one day. Yeah.
Welcome. And I have no doubt that you would add to the voice of Ghanaian women and would make a difference as we move forward, step by step. It can't be giddy, 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 giddy. Step by step, we will move forward. Anybody else? I'm randomly picking the gentleman in the yellow. You're welcome.
Thank you.
What area? You're Ghanaian, first of all.
No, I am.
I said non-Ghanaian. I see you. The man showed me that you are Nigerian. Are you Nigerian?
I am from Benin.
You are from Benin. Hey, there's a lot of Beninois here. I'll go back to Cotonou with you. Anybody else from Benin? Okay, so what made you join EGIGFA?
Okay. Firstly, I come to Ghana. It is my firstly to come in Ghana. I appreciate the environment and the people.
You are trying. You are doing a good job. If the only French I understand is the Savai accent.
Okay. I like people hospitality. After it, in this classroom, I like everyone participation to 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 be this training is very good.
C'est bon.
Thank you.
Well,
So Jacqueline, there's a community online,
okay.
and then there's a hand up, Regine. I believe when you ask the question.
Regine,
Yeah.
this is the Regine I know. She's troublesome. It's like my baby.
So
Good
Regine, are you the
afternoon.
same one?
Yeah. I'm so mad at myself for not making it on side because I was looking forward again to see you. And nice seeing you again. Nice seeing you. It's so good. So actually, why I decided to join GhanaSIG, right? So I actually took part of IFPF 2023. That was last year. And I got to know about a lot of stakeholders like Internet Society. And I met some of my colleagues who are actually part of it. And I was asking them like where to start. I was eager. I say, oh, I want to join the Internet Society. And one of them told me that, oh, take it step by step. Try to look forward to those community in Ghana here, join them, learn from it, and maybe you find your way around, right? And that is how I got to know about GhanaSIG fellowship program. So I decided to apply and learn from them and try to also write my parts in the community. And that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Regine. Good to hear. I'm liking you even more, Regine, because last year too, I also decided to join the West Africa SIG. I don't even remember how, but for some reason I saw it, I applied, I got in, I did it. It was so much. To my eternal shame, I couldn't finish. I won't beat myself up. There's so much on my plate, but it was very interesting. It was eye-opening. You know what? No matter how old you are, we are the adults now. We are the aunties and uncles. We really are holding the nation. We need to get involved to ensure that policies and whatever policies put in place, it's working for us instead of against us. So it's a very good thing you're doing to get involved, to build yourself in this capacity, okay? To project your voice and make sure that your voice is going far. Okay, we can sit on radio and call into programs and talk all we want. But if we don't do things like this, educate ourselves and project our voices, we will get nowhere. Okay, so congratulations to all of you. It's really an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. If you tell me to attend for 4 days, the excuses I'll give you, even today, when Sarata called me, I was laughing at her. I was like, Sarata, you're lucky. Because she called me, I said, I'm 10 minutes away. The way the rain did and the way work did, it's a miracle that I'm here, but we thank God. So my name is Jacqueline Hanson-Kotei. I don't want them to introduce me, so I introduce myself. My name is Jacqueline Hanson-Kotei. I'm the OPCO security head for MTN Ghana. So my field is information security and enterprise governance. It's a job I've done for 18 years. That's how I met Ray. He's become my brother. So we help each other one to one. And it's an honor to be doing this as well. There's a lot being said now for women empowerment. And we just want to make sure, men, we are not doing gidi gidi biao. At the end of the day, you still have to send the momo. But we just want to make sure that our voices are heard so that things that concern women are factored when plans are being made, okay? It might get a bit uncomfortable. I'm very real, I'll talk about everything, okay? But it's life. Just accept it, just move on, don't cringe too much. For example, if we are setting up an ICT or even this I'm going for, if we are setting up a curriculum for schools, and maybe we've taken a rural school and we've cordoned up a place. There's a river nearby. We've cordoned off a place. Forgive me, this is a very far out hypothetical example, but let me use it. We've cordoned off a place for swimming, and we say, okay, in this local village school, we are going to teach everybody swimming, and we've got a river, part of a river to use. And we put a policy in place, very strict policy. So if you don't come swimming, maybe you won't get your marks or something like that. Does this policy take into consideration that there are girls above 12 there, and at the time of the month, some girls might not be able to swim? No, it will be a full policy done. And now, to the eternal shame of the girl, she'll have to go and say, please, sir, I can't swim today, and have to explain herself. And it's something that we don't talk about in society. You get me? Okay, so this is one of the, it's quite extreme, don't mind me, but this is one of the reasons why I think it's important that us, and especially women, are empowered with the knowledge and the tools, the skills, the capabilities to be able to talk about some of these things. Okay, so we are talking about the digital divide. Forgive me, there looks like there's a hole in there in the stage, so I keep going through. So we're talking about the digital divide. Anybody wants to give just one person what to you the digital divide is? Wendy, I know your name. Unfortunately, I saw your name, so I know your name. So when anybody is not talking, I'll call you. Monsieur in the yellow, what's your name? Ida. Okay, you are not lying to me. So when I say Ida, nobody's responding. And somebody's keeping an eye online for me so that when their hands up, yes, okay, brilliant. So can anybody tell me what to you think the digital divide is? Is it something you've heard before? Is it something you've not heard before? Just one person, and then we'll move on. Hey, the way the hands went up quickly here. I'll go with my gentleman. Please tell me your name first. Okay, thank you.
Okay, my name is Raimi Nwati. I am a librarian from
Take
Benin.
your time.
Raimi.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Okay.
Okay, I think that digital divide is the gaps that exist between men and women when it comes to the use of digital devices, especially the mastering of digital devices, how to use them and stuff.
Spot on, Raimi, but I'll make one correction. Digital device is not between men and women. It's just the difference. So probably even the difference between us in Africa and the more developed world, okay? The divide between us, how much more are we missing out? So in the early 2000s, I lived in the UK before I moved here. And as at 2005, every aspect of my life was online at that time. Every aspect of my life was online. If you've been to the UK before, you need they just introduced an Oyster card. So now you didn't use a paper card for when you are going on the trains, the tube. You now use an Oyster card, and now you can even just touch it and move. Now you don't even need to take it out, take your wallet, touch and move. Now you don't even use your Oyster card. Now you can even just touch your phone. It will touch you. It will charge you and move. And that's at that time, Oyster cards were out. So when I moved to Ghana, and till now, it's my problem. I can't carry cash. You would hardly ever find me carrying cash. If you get maybe 10 cedis, 5 cedis, 100, then you buy something, you get change. But to get me carrying like a lot of cash, like maybe 500, you never get, because my formative years, I went digital very early. Okay. So, and it's something that's coming. Now, forget that even I had that experience. I can still be like that because one, mobile money, and two, POS. If it's critical, then you go for cash. So yesterday, I was at work and I went out to do something. I realized, hey, it's 12, I haven't eaten. I was starting to get a headache. So I saw a Hajia selling fruit. The first thing I asked her, I looked around, I knew I didn't have money. I said, I don't have cash. Do you take mobile money? She said, yes. And I was able to buy fruits on the road with mobile money. Okay. So we are increasingly becoming a digital individual. We are digital citizens, whether you like it or not. Who here does not have a smartphone? Everybody. I'm sure most of you have more than one. When you have more than one, I'm sure you have a tablet. You have a laptop. Am I lying? Yes. Everybody is a digital individual. So for purposes of my speech, the digital device is really the distinction between those who have internet or mobile access and are able to make use of digital communications and those who are excluded from these services. So there are still many unconnected households. And I believe in rural areas, there are lots of unconnected households. In rural areas, if people have phones, they'll probably have feature phones. They'll be able to do mobile money, accept calls, but they might not be able to have internet connectivity. And even if has anybody really toured rural areas or lived in a rural area in Ghana? How many of them have internet connectivity? How many of the telcos, and today I'm not standing here as an employee of MTN, are really investing internet connectivity, I said, in rural areas, And you have to understand that ultimately to be a business decision, how much am I going to make here? Would my investment in this community, would the profit I get from this community justify my investment? Okay, so there's a trade-off which might not make business sense. So you notice that our brothers and sisters in the rural areas would definitely be suffering from the digital device through no fault of their own. Maybe their auntie in the US sent them an iPhone, but do you have the connectivity to use it? Okay, so moving forward, UNICEF found that 1.3 billion worldwide students don't have access to stable internet. They can't do online learning. They can't use online learning tools. That's a lot. Even more in the United States, the Department of Education published a data set in 2020 when it was even, 2020 was the height of COVID, so it was even more relevant. That showed that 9.4 million students between the ages of 3 and 18 lived in homes. This is the USO that lacked internet access. But why should we care? I mean, people can't get internet. They don't have mobile access. So what? Why should we care? But this growing digital divide excludes certain parts of the population from experiencing and participating in the prosperity that is brought about by technological innovation. Does anybody know anybody here who sells on Instagram? You don't know anybody who does DM for price? You do? Yes. I know a lot of people. I buy a lot on Instagram. You'll be surprised. You see shoe. We are women. Oh. You like. You see cloth. You like. Please, the dispatch will call you. I'm sure as I'm here, dispatch will call me. You get me? And it's a lot of the young people and even older people, all the people who are working in organizations. You buy something for somebody, you say, oh, I work. So let me, when I close work, I'll send dispatch. You get me? And it's a side hustle for a lot of people. So imagine how much we are being deprived. And this is just a simple example, from participating in the technological revolution or even economic prosperity by not equipping ourselves digitally, or how much the digital divide is affecting some people, Can anybody tell me what you use the internet for now that has changed your life? One person. Changed your life totally. I have one. Yes, gentleman. Tell me your name, please. Are you Ghanaian?
Yeah, I'm Ghanaian.
Yes.
Musa Husseini.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. So I use it to make sales.
What do you sell?
I sell toilets.
Okay. So how do you use it?
So I design a flyer, then mostly I share it on my status and on my Facebook walls, and I get a lot of calls.
Is that the only way you advertise?
Yeah, that's the only way.
Exactly.
Yes,
so
yes.
Is the sole is your sole source of advertising, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So imagine, so do you remember what happened on 14th of March?
14th of March this year.
What network do you use?
I use MTN and Vodafone.
Okay. So what happened on 14th of March? Do you remember?
I can't quite remember.
You can't quite remember. Anybody remembers? Mr. Beninoa, you were in Ghana? Sure. You were in Benin. It was, yes, it was West of Cash. Okay, so 14th of March, who was frustrated? We were all very frustrated because everything is online. Okay, so you see how important even we who feel we are a third world in Africa, how our lives have shifted to digital services. Okay, and we don't realize it too. If probably we went, okay, Raymond got plenty money and flew everybody to America, and we joined an American class, and we had 2,000. Okay, and they asked us, okay, the Ghanaian contingent, rate yourselves from 1 to 10 where you think you are on the digital scale. I'm sure most of us would have rated ourselves low. Am I lying? But we are living our lives fully online. Fully online. Even fraud cry is online. Okay. So we face significant barriers when we don't talk about or aim to sit down and talk about what are we doing about this digital divide. Okay, so this is just an introduction. Okay. When I came with the intention of telling you people, I have to pick my children at 3, so I'll be quick. But the way I've started, let's talk. They'll be fine. Okay, so we're taking it a step further. No, please let's go back. We are still at introduction. We are now starting introduction. So please go back. Yes. So to take it a step further, Raymond gave me the women's session. So we are not only looking at the digital divide, but we are doing the gender digital divide. Okay. And these are conversations we need to have because I won't say only in Africa, but all over the world, there is still a degree of marginalization of women. Okay. It could be for religious reasons, it could be for societal reasons. But I think it's important that empowerment comes to all. And we as women, we are not even saying at the same rate. Like I said, we are not doing giddy giddy. Please explain to our Beninoa brothers what giddy giddy is. You know it, yes. We are not doing giddy giddy, but small. We need to see progress. You have Ivorian. Where's the Ivorian? You didn't raise your hand when I say who's not the Ghanaian. Or you have a Ghana card. Do you have a Ghana card? Oh, you're outside. Okay. Okay, you were out then. What's your name? Alfred. Okay. Nice to meet you, Alfred. Okay. Fred. Fred. Okay. Nice to meet you, Fred. Frank. Hey. Frank. That one day I went over my head, crowd. Nice to meet you, Frank. Sava. Don't go any further. That's where we start. Please, Clever. Okay. Oh, hello, Mr. Ethiopia. Or is it Mr. or Miss?
Mr.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. You're welcome to the Ghanaian contingent. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. So where were we? We said we are talking about the digital gender divide. And I think that's what my brother spoke about. So it's the gender bias. Okay. Hi. Oh, hi,
Yes,
Nicole.
yes.
I like the diversity part. Well done, well done, well done. And we have a lot of women too in here. When he told me to take this, I said, how many women are coming? I needed to ask that before I came to do the session. But yes. Sorry, 18. Yes, well done, well done, well done for showing up. You men don't understand. It's not easy for us. Your child is calling you, your husband is calling you, maybe your boyfriend is calling you. It's not easy. It's not easy. So any woman who shows up, I think it's well with them. But you have more freedom than we do. Am I lying? You have more freedom. If the baby is crying in the night, you kick your wife and say the baby is crying. Am I lying? So that's what happens. Okay. So digital gender divide. It's defined as gender bias that's coded into technology products, the technology sector, digital skills and education. And it refers or can refer to women's lack of access or their use of these things or their lack of development in the computing sector. When you go into any huge organization and you go to the IT department, it's likely and I'm saying likely, that you see a lot of men. Okay. In telecoms, we have two departments. We have IT and the engineering. They build the network and maintain the network. That's quite different from IT. Okay. And in MTN lines, we call them network. Her sister works there. So when I saw her surname, I said, they are related to this name. Yes. So in the network too, you hardly find women. IT, I can count how many women they are at this time. And I've been there for 18 years. Okay. So this also is part of the gender digital divide. We need to encourage more women to go into these things. Last year, and I dare say this year, I was a judge for KPMG was doing, I don't even know why I talked about it, I can't remember. They're doing some innovator challenge online. Okay, not online, they are doing an innovator challenge. So I think if you've innovated a product, okay, so like an app that can do things or something like that, you come, they obviously by a process of vetting, they put you through it, and then the finalist would go and represent either Ghana or Africa, I'm not sure, forgive me. It's not in any way accurate. In the final, last year it was in Lisbon, I was one of the judges, and the innovations that came out were absolutely wonderful, you know, and a company, I think it was both Ghanaian and Nigerian, called Motito, won last time, because I remember the guy who came to pitch for it, their lead guy was Nigerian, Toby Martins, and it was really nice to see. But the sad thing was there were no women. In all of the parties who came, there were no women. And we need to start as women engineering some of these things. We have a lot of problems, women, a lot. We won't even start going into it. Why aren't we thinking of innovations to help us along with some of these things? What's your name? Fatima. Why don't you go and learn coding? Do an app, do some. Yes, there's so many things you can do. You get me? There's so much we can do, and there's so much we are exempting ourselves from, or we are missing out of by not being digitally literate or computer literate. Okay. And a lot of us are afraid of these things. That's why I'm very impressed by those of you who have taken the opportunity to start learning or start the journey. Don't give up. It will get dicey. You won't have the time, but no investments, no hard thing would ever be wasted. It will always pay off. Okay. So according to UNESCO reports, around the world, women are 23 less likely to make use of mobile, 23% less likely to make use of mobile internet than their male counterparts. In Africa, Asia, South Africa, third world, women are 30 to 50% less likely to use internet at all. And some of us, internet, the first thing you do when you wake up is go to IG or Facebook, or buy line, or go to your status to go and watch people's status. It's become very basic to us. But around the world, there are 30 to 50% who would not use it at all, who wouldn't even touch it. Okay. Of the estimated 2.6 billion people currently unconnected, majority are women and girls. And we should be asking questions. The women I understand, but the girls coming up, this is computer age. Children as young as 3 years old can easily go onto YouTube and go and search for Baby Shark and listen to the song. It's true. So why are the girls being left behind? These are questions we need to be asking ourselves. And as much as this is for women, it's more for you men, because you are the allies, you are the decision makers. We need you to partner with, or we need your allyship to be able to push this agenda forward. Okay. So the number of women in tech increased less than 1% in 2022. In 2020, women made up to 28.8%, but in 2021, it dipped to 26.7%. Very worrying. The rising figure in 2022, because of the rise, the women now came up to 27.6%. And remember, that's less than the 2020 figure, which was 28.8%. It's worrying. We have questions to ask. If I knew who to ask, I'll say, why? Tell me what happened. Okay. And I dare say this divide manifests in various dimensions. It's so many reasons. unavailability of infrastructure. Remember, I talked about our brethren in the village. Investment might not be have made into their community to make sure that they can even connect. You might even have the devices to connect, but is there connectivity there? So that's unavailability of infrastructure, usage patterns, digital literacy. Are they digitally literate? In doing this, I did a lot of research. I came across PlantWise. PlantWise are indulging in a lot of digital farming techniques. And they were very alarmed at the lack of women who were participating. And then one of the women who they interviewed in Egiso. Where's Egiso cry? It's in the Ashanti region. And this is what the lady said. And it was very profound to me. I hope I can find it. It's in my very copious notes. She said, even if they teach us, even if they bring it to us, we don't know how to read and write, so we can't use it. She said they send us messages, but we can't see because we can't read. Okay. So we have to understand that it's a much bigger problem than we are looking at. And it does beg the question, where do we start from? Okay. But remember when I started, I said, no giddy giddy bia, little by little. It says, how do you eat an elephant? You say what? Piece by piece. Okay, you can't tackle it off the bat, giddy giddy like that. No, you have to put steps and measures in place little by little and make sure that you are conquering the issue. Okay, so we are moving on. I'm sure I'll find the quote somewhere in my notes later and then I'll come to it. So we are still on introduction. Don't worry, I'll move. So we've talked about digital literacy. We've talked about frequent use. The mother is if she's not working, if she's not selling somewhere or doing something, maybe a teacher, a dressmaker, she's washing clothes, she's looking after children, she's helping with homework. How much time would you have to go online? Remember when I had my first baby and I was in the hospital and the baby, my auntie came and the baby had just started crying. And I was on my phone. Those days it was BlackBerry. She was like, hey, you stop this phone. And now you have a baby to look after, and it's true. Okay. So that limits the time that women will have to go online. So frequency of use is also one of the issues. Economic employment, limited access to digital tools. Women entrepreneurs will face the issue. Yesterday, let me just go back. Yesterday, I read something about, there's all this talk about PhD and Dutch passports. You know about it. So yesterday, I read an article on how much PhD holders, which I assume is professors, make. And it was about 15,000 Ghana cedis. You can't even buy an iPhone 15. Do you realize that? And that's very, very serious. A PhD holder. Do you know how hard it is to learn? Degree, if God didn't help us, like won't pass. You get me? So there's definitely a lack of economic empowerment to be able to equip yourself with some of these digital tools. So these are some of the barriers as well. I've given you some stats. I'll give you a few more. Mobile phone ownership, according to GSMA, Gender Gap Report 2023, 84% of women in low and middle income countries own a mobile phone, compared to 90% of the men. Internet access via mobile phone. This is the same report. Take down some of these reports. GSMA Mobile Gender Gap Report 2023. I don't know if 2024 has come out, but later you can also go through them, especially if this is an area you intend to focus on. Okay. Same report, 60% of women in these regions use mobile internet, but it's as compared to 71% of the men, 11% gap. Smartphone ownership. Women's access to smartphones are also lower. For instance, in South Asia, 50% of women own smartphones as compared to 76% of men. Internet usage. Global internet users, according to ITU, 48% of the world internet users were women in 2022. I dare say it has gone up, but this is compared to 55% of men. Okay. Regional differences. The gender gap in internet usage, definitely, it will vary by region. Okay, so in Africa, 34% of women use internet as compared to 45% of men. So in every scenario that I can give, you realize that what? The women are lower or are slightly more marginalized. Do you agree? Okay, all right. Let's go to digital skills. UNESCO reports that women generally have lower digital skills compared to the men. For example, in some developing countries, only 20% of women possess basic digital skills, such as using email or even a word processor, as compared to 28% of the men. Dr. Kweji Agri said something. Does anybody know what he said? You educate? No. Wait. An individual. But if you educate a woman, thank you. Are you sure? So how so? Yes. So I think, and look at the time he made it. I dare say me and you weren't even born. Okay. But in those days, formal education was now becoming a thing. Okay. And education, and remember, even most girls weren't allowed to go to school. Komukasi ban, kosoja, kofum. Okay. These are some of the things that we were facing as women and girls. Okay. So most of the girls received education by sitting at the feet of their mothers. Anecdotal, that is what I'm sure that is what that was based on. Okay. And to some extent, I dare say it has changed now, but to some extent it's still true. You mind if I ask, are you married? Okay. Why have you seen somebody here that you want to marry? No, don't worry, I'm just listening. So, and this is not always the case. This is not always, but you find that the children tend to spend more time with their mother. Am I lying? Most of them. The boys, when they are small, they are with their mother. When they see that, yes, they are excited. But you, daddy, will be sitting there and they'll come and pass. Daddy, where is mommy? Am I lying? Sometimes. Most often. Unless you are a very, very involved father who has changed the narrative. Am I lying? It's very true. You are trying, I'll give you that. You are trying, yes, you are trying, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. For me, I had to force my children. I'm like, hey, your father, when he comes to ask me, mommy, home, I'm like, the father is there, go and give it to him. You get me? No, you have to make a conscious effort to reroute these things, you see, because I think for me, my situation is slightly different because my husband works outside the country. So he's in and out. Okay. So I'm the staple. I'm the only one they'll see most of the time. So in my case, that would be. So I have to make a conscious effort to reroute them from me to him so that it's generally shared. And you learn a lot about your kids when you interact with them in these ways as well. Okay, so I'm just saying that in the cases where the children are closer to the mothers, you can learn a lot from your mother. You can ask questions. There are some kids, mommy, why? Mommy, this, mommy, that. Okay, so that statement, I agree wholeheartedly with you. And definitely we are in changing times. There are a lot of hands-on fathers, okay, who are rising. And I say, keep it up. Those of you coming, please join them as well. But yes, the more women are educated in some of these things, okay, the more we will be able to bring up children with this kind of knowledge as well. So imagine, I'll use the answer itself. What's your name? Mr. Jima. Mr. Jima, you've married some nice chickpea. But she didn't go too far in education. Forgive me, my examples just come on the fly, so don't read too much into them. She didn't go too far in education, okay. However, you have a master's. You have not basic digital literacy, but very up-to-date, advanced, okay. If you decide to let your 3-year-old start a coding program, she might not understand the importance. Maybe she'll think, okay, it's important. Ade abaso, onkobi, okay. My foreigners, forgive the tree references. but you understand the benefits of that investment of a child at 3-year-old. Can you imagine if you start understanding coding at 3-year-old? By the time you are 8, you'll be doing marvelous things and you'll be solving problems in the community and at home as well. Okay, so it's important that women are brought to some level of digital literacy as well. Okay, because as much as the men are the leaders of the home, some women tend to be the bedrocks. Fathers might go and work. Maybe mommy sells something here. You come from home, mommy has closed. Her eye is on you. Okay, that is where she can also impart into you. You get me? So it's important. These are some of the reasons why it's important that women also have that grounding and that basic understanding, okay, or digital skills. Okay. All right, let's move on. I'm being slow. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, so contributing factors to why there's the digital divide, socioeconomic barriers, maybe access to financial resources, cultural barriers, safety, privacy concerns is becoming a huge thing. Recently, I have a young lady who has come to stay with me. She just finished WASI, waiting to go to university. And I noticed on her status that she's put a number, anyone up for chatting. And I was like, what is that? What is that? There's about 7 of us in this house. You don't want to chat to us. You want strangers. You get me. You are putting yourself at much risk. You are inviting all sorts of people. You get me. So these safety and privacy concerns are very, very valid. So since then, I started watching her because before she put my house address on the status, you get me. This is a lot of concern. There's a lot of concern for ladies as well. I think the young people these days, they just want to be connected to everybody. The fact that you are connected to people so far away or so far flung, it gives them some, these days likes is a currency. It's in a form of approval. I often wonder how, and I'm old, so I did old system. I didn't do GSS. How we were in school for 7 years, and there was not a time you could even contact your parents. You were there. If they come and visit you, fine. If they don't come, forget it. A letter will take about 2 weeks to come to you. So the times have changed so rapidly and so much, okay, that we, the parents, need to have some basic understanding or some basic digital literacy to be able to handle these children, because they'll run circles around you. They will. They'll be chatting with their friends. You know where you go and look, maybe they're on Google chats. When you catch them, they'll go to Snapchat. When you catch them, they'll go to Instagram. And if you, the parents, don't know all these things, how can you keep an eye? That's where privacy and security concerns come in. It's important. Guys, let's not play with these things, okay? We can sit there and say, oh, the children of these days, but still, as parents or as guardians, as we are coming up, we need to have the basic knowledge to be able to manage them and advise them and guide them, because they are doing a bit too much online, okay? Online guys, are you there? Give me a hello. Are the online people there?
Yeah,
Yes,
we are right here. Hello.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, we are going on.
Yeah, we are here live.
Yeah, we are here live.
The importance of bridging the digital divide. For me, I think it's critical for all the reasons I've said. Economic inclusivity, enhancing social development. I dare say if you go and look at Ghana SME stats, you have more women in there. Okay, yes. And imagine if most of these women were digitally empowered. We'll be transforming the SME sector. You understand me? Okay, so yes, definitely enhancing social development and promoting gender equality. I think not having this insight, or when that divide, the gender divide is big, it limits the women's participation in the economy, in digital economy, and also hinders their overall social economic progress. So every time I go and speak somewhere, today I've made a declaration, I'm not an MTN staff. People will ask, if you are MTN and you go somewhere, people will start asking you mobile money. And has anybody here been defrauded? Or have scammers called you? The calls. But you have to, okay, so as the head of cybersecurity, I will always say this, my systems have not been compromised. This is purely social engineering. You understand? It's a social engineering, it's a try or luck. They might or might not have some information about you. Most of the time they don't. They'll just say, oh, maybe they've seen your number somewhere. I've sent you money and you look at a badly worded text. You get me? Send it back to me. What did you say about, no, what did Aida say about Ghanaians? Hospitality. We are very nice people. Who. So because, yes, it's true. And because we believe, no, you won't check your balance card, you just send it back. Why? And the only way to combat this thing is through education. It is not our systems that have been compromised. Do you understand? The system has compromised. The head of cybersecurity, I'm in trouble. We have to do so many things. Fix the systems, fix the perimeters, check our firewalls, put all the technical things in place. But this one is basic education we need for our subscribers. Yes. That's what most people assume, but you have to understand that we work with a lot of agents as well. Okay. It's a technical discussion. Yes, let's veer off there. Mm-hmm. Please, I'm not an MTN staff today. I have no idea. No, please. Today, let's stick to the gender difference. When you finish, when I'm going, you can come and we can talk. Okay. Can ask me questions there. Okay. Right. So I think it's important because, like I said, increased economic participation. Definitely, there'll be a boost to GDP. What did I say with me? What was I saying to Mr. Jima? A huge number of SMEs are run by women, and with some education or some push, do you understand how much the terrain would change? It will change. It will change so much. Okay. One of the projects that MTN did, and it was a while ago, and I don't even have insight into it, so this is just a very casual example, was they put Wi-Fi at Tiptoe Lane when 4G came first. Okay. Imagine traders at Abosuokai, who are largely men, I'll admit, because it's more spare parts and stuff, but you'll find one or two women too in there, having access to worldwide internet. The research you can do, somebody will come and ask for something, you can quickly Google it, because away, Toyota, it won't work for it. You get me? The possibilities are endless. They are endless. So I think the importance of this increased economic participation will see a rise in quality entrepreneurship. Science-based facts will be used to build businesses. People will get more ideas. I remember a colleague of mine said when it was COVID time and we were largely working from home, she used ChatGPT. How many people use ChatGPT here? Yes, quite a yes. All of you, eh? Yes. She used ChatGPT to put in some parameters and ask what kind of business can I open in Ghana? And she put, I think, the time of the year. It came back and it said she can sell frozen chopped okra. And she started in her area. She started. Think about this. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Once you get your parameters right, you get some very good information out of it. Okay. Education and development, online learning, digital literacy. I think I've said a lot about that. Closing the skill gap. Once you have the skills, what's not to say you go to Sunday school in your church or go to the children's session of your mosque and go and talk to the kids about interest in these things and also being safe as they are practicing these things. Those of you who have little sisters and daughters and stuff, most of them are on TikTok. You don't know. Most of them are on TikTok. Okay. But then Snapchat, they need to be safe on it. So even if you feel they know, what's to stop us just going to talk to your Sunday school people? Say, today, I want to come and give them 10-minute talk and then tell them some facts and then give them some guidance how to be safe online. Basic digital literacy. health and well-being. Has anybody ever Googled, been feeling something, you've Googled your symptoms before? They'll tell you I come to die now. But there's telemedicine available today in its simplest form. For me, today I nearly didn't come because one of my children has been very, very unwell and busy mother. So did the lab and stuff, but we are doing everything through WhatsApp. Even prescription, she sent me through WhatsApp. You get me? It's a form of it. This one, if WhatsApp wasn't there, I have to be sitting at the hospital. Meanwhile, I have to be here with you too. You see? So it's really making our life much easier. Social inclusion, access to social media and communication platforms. Listen, there's a lot that you can learn. Advocacy and rights. Digital platforms can be used to advocate for women's rights, providing space for organizing awareness campaigns. Some of us, our children have come on holidays already. You want to find something for them to do. Immediately you go online, things to do in Accra for children, you will find. And there's so much innovation going around now. People are doing tours to, I think there's some zoo somewhere in Accra with some one lion bee. People are doing tours there. People are doing tours to Kwame Nkrumah. There's so much online. Now, Ghana is open up for this. We have to take advantage of it. A friend of mine's colleague, white Caucasian colleague, was coming to Ghana for the first time. They wanted things to do. So I did some research. You can go to Bukom, learn how to chi banku. Did you know that? Learn how to make a meal. It's a tour. You can make tie and dye in Jamestown. You can learn to make kenke. It's a tour. And they'll charge you for it. Yes. And you put your services online. And people who want to come to Ghana would research and they'll find and they'll come and take your tour. There's also a tour at Ghana Tourism, opposite Jubilee House, the tour bus. I've done it. It was very interesting. I learned some very interesting facts. Apparently, Kentucky was named after Kentucky-Teria, who is a guy here. Takiteria, Takitaria, as we say. I'm half Ganso. Kentucky in the US was named after him, according to the tour guide, because the slaves came from there. Facts. You get me? So there's just so much access that we can have, okay? And it's too important not to let women be in on this or discriminate them or exclude them because of some bias. Are you with me? Great. Any questions so far? Okay. So I think gender digital divide is not a matter of only equality, but also a very significant factor in driving socio-economic development and innovation. It's hard to innovate something, an experience that you don't even know of. Okay, it's very hard to innovate. How would you even, you have never, unless people tell you, and maybe somebody close to you, okay, what can I talk about? I'm looking for a very far out example again. Okay, a man, and you are doing something for pregnant women. You've never and will never experience it. You need to gather some pregnant women and talk to them and say, okay, this, what will be helpful to you? How can we do this in a way that would help you? Okay, all right. So several challenges and barriers to the digital divide. And bridging this is essential for, I've talked about gender equality and socioeconomic development. So you realize that during lockdown, while the internet was available everywhere, it wasn't available to all. There were some schools that were quickly able to do an online version with some modifications, but there were some also schools who were not able to, and the children had to sit at home. I think an innovative thing they did was we started making, we put something on TV for them where they can learn, so that you can be included. But you can imagine some people might not even have access to TVs. Yes. Yes, there's a channel. There's a channel. I've even noticed there's a South African channel on DSTV that really teaches the kids. It will say something for maybe grade 2. So that whole maybe like 3 hours be teaching for some particular grade. Well, in their area of the world. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what grade it would be in relation to Ghana, but yes, there are things like that. Sorry? Yes, even in Ghana, yes. But how many people in the rural areas have access to TV? It mainly radio, even radio. Radio now, I know radio is everywhere. But how many people have access to TV, let alone internet? So this exclusion has economic consequences. And it's estimated that countries can lose $500 billion, not GhanaSIG, dollars in the next 5 years if this issue is not addressed with substantial decisions like policy interventions. It's very important. Okay. And some of, anybody want to weigh in any of the challenges that you see to any of the challenges and the barriers to women being fully inclusive in the digital space? Yes, go ahead.
Myself, I am an IT teacher. I'm a digital background.
Brilliant. Mr. Jima, when you say you organize training, so is it like voluntary or?
We do trainings as part of the job we do or the job I do when the semester academic year starts.
I want to ask is what is the criteria for your this thing?
Sorry.
Okay. What is the criteria for staff? Like,
so for staff, we normally look at some things they may need, some productivity tools they will need.
Okay.
So when we can say, okay, this semester we are dealing with OneDrive.
Okay.
Because it's going to help them with storage and stuff like that.
Teams, Excel.
Microsoft Teams, Excel.
Yes. Brilliant.
And we do the same thing for faculty. Faculty, we target research applications like SPSS, NVivo, stuff like that. We organize, they come, we train them.
Yeah.
And then we do same for students. One thing I realized about female students, and this cuts across faculty, staff, students, their numbers always outweigh that of the male participants.
Really?
Yes.
Beautiful.
They come plenty. So maybe in a class, most of the time, the labs we use take about 50 people per session. So a 50 session class can have about 35 or 40
of women.
Of women.
A higher percentage.
A higher percentage. You know, most of the guys see themselves as not lacking so much when it comes to IT. So you see a lot of the women coming, and you expect a lot of seriousness from them because due to the urgency, the numbers that come. But one thing I realized that cuts across. Sorry.
They're not serious.
Oh, so you could see that
even they are coming.
They are coming their numbers, but you see two male participants who you think are less comparing them to the ladies will be the ones going around helping the ladies do what you are teaching them to, like asking them to do. Yeah. And then you ask them, why are they not paying? They are in the class, you are teaching, you are training, but their minds are somewhere. They are on their phones, they are on TikTok, they are on WhatsApp. So as part of the criteria in my class, immediately you enter my class, your phones. But even with that, they'll still find a way to go online. And initially I thought it was maybe the younger level 100s, 200s, but it cuts across. Postgraduates, even the staff, even the faculty members, the doctors, the professors. You organized last week, we're doing training on Prep AI. It's a new AI tool that helps faculty members to set questions, and you can load your course outline written into the system.
Something that will make your life easier.
Easier as a faculty. And I'm talking about the women's side. It's like At times, I think they will even call you to come. A faculty person will call you, come to my office. Someone will be taking it through Microsoft Teams, taught her stuff. The same person will call you to come to the office to come and help. And the same thing you took the person
She
through.
was not listening.
So I see that lack of seriousness cutting across, and it's from my personal experience. That's what I wanted to.
Brilliant experience. Brilliant experience.
Hello, Edna. Can you hear us? I think there's a question.
There's a,
There's a hand
Let's
online.
take online, then we'll come to you.
Edna, if you can hear us, unmute and speak.
Yes, I can. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Edna.
Can you hear
Please
me?
go ahead. Yes, we can.
Hi, Jackie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So my question is in the area of accessibility in terms of the internet. We all know, especially for those of us in Ghana, I don't know about Benin and the other African countries, but internet is quite expensive in Ghana.
Yeah.
So if we are looking at accessibility, affordability, I mean, you've given a disclaimer that you're not here today as an employee of MTN, but I still couldn't help asking. What can we do as a people to make internet a bit more affordable so that we can have more females participating in discussions like this? Thank you.
Edna, you want to move me to MTN mode. But anyway, we'll come to the areas where we are looking at things to do. Okay, so I'll address it there, please. We'll definitely come there. But yes, accessibility is definitely an issue. Not only Ghana, across Africa, internet is still very expensive. It's still very expensive. But you know, saying that, okay, so this is my personal experience and it's not law. It's just my experience. Having been to a few countries outside, what I would say that internet is readily available. So you get a package for Wi-Fi all day, you know, like unlimited. Sorry, that's the word, unlimited. Okay. And yes, it will be slightly more cheaper than Ghana, but you still pay for it. Okay. So our issue, Edna, is not only accessibility in terms of infrastructure, but yes, accessibility in terms of price as well. And it's something that, and this is not only an MTN issue or a Ghana issue, but as a region, we need to look at together. Okay. We are doing things like this, preaching that people should get digital, but where are the supporting infrastructure and economic boost or help to be able to enable them? Okay, there are quite a few things, grants and things that have come to help, but we'll get there. Okay, we'll get there. Okay, you had a question, then I'll come to you. You, the way you wanted to tension me, wait. Yes.
I, for instance, I'm a business person. I'm a business, lady, like student. I did BBA, business, HR, EMBA, project management, MCL, Christian leadership. So throughout, I've been a business person. Then I get a job at a church.
Yeah.
To handle the administration.
Yeah.
Then I realized that when you ask these small boys to do artwork and the rest, it takes years. You have to be on them. So
explain your category well, the small boys.
So the young guys.
About what age?
So around 18 years to 25, you know.
Hey.
So when you ask them to do an artwork, they take years. I mean, days, you have to be on them. So I decided, look, I'm going to take an opportunity and learn myself. So when I give it to you and you don't do it, I do the work and then blah.
Oh, I'm understanding you now. So maybe you want a flyer for something.
A flyer for something, you know, for church activity. It needs to go out, it needs to, and they don't do it.
Yeah.
So I decided that, look, this is an opportunity for me to educate myself.
So what did you use? Canva?
I use Canva, I use Photoshop.
Yes.
I actually decided to learn.
Yeah.
to do that. And then later I realized that had this, I just applied cybersecurity. I knew I had interest in that. So I just applied, Kofi Annan, they were doing something. I just applied and I forgot about it. And I was called to come and then do the course.
On cybersecurity.
Cyber ops, yes.
Yes.
Cisco.
Brilliant.
And we're just like 6 ladies, 3 of us wrote the exams. And then
what happened to the other 3? They ran away.
They ran away. And I believe that is the mindset.
Yes.
It's the mindset.
Yes.
I think we think that IT or, it's difficult.
Yes.
So we need to encourage them that it's not difficult, because I have no background, but I was able to write the Cisco and pass because I decided to learn. And my instructor was so much amazed that even now he wants to say something. And I'm being recruited into that particular to take, to handle some parts of it. And it's about the mindset. It is there, the opportunity is there. We need to encourage them. So if they are not coming and they are trying to slack, it is you, the instructor, you have to encourage them, because I was encouraged.
Yeah.
The instructor was encouraged, okay, do it, try it. Gloria, come and take, and I knew that definitely I have to sit down and learn, because he would definitely call me to come and say something. So if they are not coming, you need to engage them.
They are coming, but they are not being serious.
Yes. They are not busy, but you have to, because we have the intention. It is difficult.
Yeah.
When you see all those acronyms and stars, and you become, can I do this?
Yeah.
But you can.
Yeah.
So you need to, encourage them, keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
And the young ladies are going to slack back. Don't say, oh, they are not serious. If you involve them, they'll be serious.
Hey, there's a mutiny here. Gloria, thank you for that. Mr. Jima, she has a point. You see, I told you I've been doing this thing for 18 years. So that's just the MTN job part. And a huge part of my job is security awareness. Remember, I talked about social engineering, and I said that one, the only thing you have that will cure it is really awareness. Okay. So I've been doing it for a long time. I even want to do a PhD in how sort of behavioral and cybersecurity awareness, because you'll be shocked, thank you very much, at how people, cyber is like a shutter comes on their mind. They don't want to understand. And it's the simplest thing that we are asking you to do. Don't share your password. We even use the acronym, we even use a phrase like, your password is like your underwear. You don't share it. Change it often. Every day or twice a day, we recommend. You get me? But still, you will get people, a whole group of people sharing one password. So this person will just come and sit down and then type somebody's login. You remember I was telling you about I went to the lab with my child, and I use insurance. So I went to the insurance. When you finish, you have to go to the insurance place. And they were like, oh, the guy is not there. He was like, okay, let me do it for you. He went, type the guy there. Is it your login? Is it you? And I started worrying him. So when the guy came, he said, you let cybersecurity come and catch me here. And the guy didn't understand, because he thought like I was an official person. I said, oh, I'm just a patient. But this practice you are doing, it's wrong. Because you do something, if he makes a mistake, if he undercharges me, underbills me, he's done it in somebody else's name. How would you ever go and say it was not me? You get me? And if he denies it, what are you going to do? So basic cyber hygiene practices like this are very important. Guys, we have to move. We'll talk, please. When I finish, I'll make time for you. Is that okay? You? Yes, when I finish, we'll make time for you. I beg you. Because I'm standing between you and lunch, and I've seen she's holding her thing. Okay. So some of the barriers, Edna gave a very good one: access, infrastructure, affordable internet, promoting digital literacy, community trainings, integration of digital skills in school curricula, encouraging participation in STEM. It all speaks to what we've said. Women, our minds are closed. They have good intentions joining, but when they come, you use one or two terms or acronyms. The shutter closes. It's different. It's different. It's so different. Listen, as a lady who is in cybersecurity and who was not technical, when I went to Legon, I did banking and finance. If I tell you my story and how I ended up here, it was by happenstance. You get me? Believe me, it's a real barrier and a real fear. So, Mr. Jima, you have work to do. No, a lot, you won't be able to save everybody, yes, but a lot would depend on you. How strict you are, but you have to be yielding in some places too as well. And then review your notes. You see, one thing we technical people do, we understand this thing so much and it's so basic to us. We assume everybody understands it. It's normal, it's simple. Why don't you understand this? What is this? You get me? And when somebody comes to ask you a question, you think they are even asking you a stupid question. It's like, are you serious? Duh, why don't you understand? You see, so there's the tendency for us to be using our acronyms and people don't understand. So I have a CERT team, everybody knows what a CERT is, Computer Security Incident Response Team. We have one, and it has to cut across the organization. So we put in some communication people, okay? They are from the comms team, they are not technical. We'll have our meeting, talk. Hey, I'll be feeling, hey, today we did meeting, we discussed. The girl will come and say, me, I didn't understand anything. After you said, and I'll be like, really? After you went into this part, maybe I didn't understand anything you said. And to us, we are like-minded people on there, but you kind of forget there's an HR person, there's a communications person, because in the thick of a really big incident, you will need those people. You have to include everybody, but you have to be so inclusive in your mindset that whatever you do, you are stepping it down so that the layman understands it, okay? But because this way giddy comes in, it's not giddy, but it's more business as usual. It's your work. You do this, you go. So we don't step back, or we don't even have in our mind that there'll be people who will not get a clue about what we're talking about. And people are very, it takes very bold people to always be raising their hand and ask questions. After a while, people say, dang, you are too known. Only you come to ask questions. You get me? Okay, so we'll talk, but the onus is really upon you to just change your tactics a little and see if it will work. Okay, all right. So we also need to create safe spaces online. Gloria, you've told your story. The onus is upon you. What are you doing to encourage more women? Talk to Kofi Annan, talk to your lecturer. Don't you think there's something you can do? It might not necessarily be paid, though. It's true. The city is where it's going. We all need money. But let's volunteer to him. It might not necessarily be paid. But do you think there's a role you can play? Like maybe a TA role. Yes, maybe you might be a busy wife, busy mother, you might have your own business, but can you give that 2 hours and tell your lecturer that, listen, when your class, maybe an hour to the end of your class, I want to meet the female students. Ask them, what are your challenges? And demystify it for them. You can probably do that. You get me? Any of you have nieces, little sisters in school. Why don't you go and just give them a talk? Being safe online, that's where it starts. All of them, they are clamoring to go online. When you start with that, you have their attention. You can just do that simple thing for them, because that also is a real concern these days. Okay, so there's so many barriers, okay, but we need to work together. And I love Edna's question. She put me in a tight corner, but I love it. And it was the first thing in my notes as well. Infrastructure and accessibility and economic accessibility in terms of internet being so expensive. Okay, all right. Obviously, there are socioeconomic barriers. We have talked about safety and privacy and how this generation, they are doing too much, putting everything online, What's your name, gentleman? Eric. You have Instagram. Eric, if you got married tomorrow and despite paid for your wedding and you trended, won't you floss online? You will. You probably won't. You won't put anything. You're a security. Oh, then you are an anomaly. Mr. Jima. Mr. Jima doesn't want to say whether he's married or not. So, Mr. Jima, no, we won't go to the wedding. I know you are averse to that one. Okay, then you can't say, Wendy, you haven't answered the question. If I gave you an all expenses trip to Bali, Indonesia, you go and sit on the swing, Bino and things. Your status, we have to buy data to watch. Am I lying? You have to buy data to watch because everybody wants to put their life online to share their experiences. Okay. So and don't you think, Mr. Jima, I'm worrying you small, but don't worry. Mr. Jima has spotted you in this class and he's in training in Bali and he looks at your status and he knows where you are. Don't think he will track you down? Yes.
Yeah,
For
he
good or
can.
bad, he will track you down. Yes. You see. So these are some of the concerns that we need to take into consideration when we are doing all these things. Okay, so the barriers, I think we've exhausted the barriers. Let's move. So this is what I was talking about with the plant-wise. Okay, so plant-wise in their research, they said they emphasized that many women in Ghana cannot read or write due to lack of formal education. Okay, and I remember I said this is in Ejiso Asosoano. Okay. And as a result, they need help to even make phone calls. And you want to do digital farming and be sending them tips on sort of weather and stuff. They can't read it. Okay. So this is just a little example to show you that the work is big and it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. We've talked about infrastructure barriers, device availability, how expensive devices are. I want iPhone 15. Or Ray, you buy me one when I leave here. S24. I want iPhone 50 or S24. Eh? Nobody's buying me some. When I tell my husband, you say, come for me. You see, so I mean, there's just a lot of barriers, and our economic position at the moment is making it increasingly difficult. But we also cannot let that deter us. We need to find very clever ways to be able to surmount this and still let it be done. Okay. All right, let's look at some of the strategies that we can put in place. Did anybody join this wanting to go into policy full-time? You, yes. Okay, for me as well, I mean, for me, having worked in cybersecurity for a long time, I feel it's time that I stepped into policy as well. So that was why I joined WASIG last year. Listen, your voice can make a lot of difference. Mr. Ray, when I knew him, he wasn't doing all this. Now he's become a big man. Tomorrow I can hear traveling all over this world. And he's using his voice. Ray, I don't know if you share your story with the guys when they come to this, but you need to encourage them. Yes, it's very, very important. And all it takes is a little commitment. Little is big, Moon, but let me say little for now. You will say little, then you put yourself in. That's when you see it's big, but you are already committed. You have to just have a little commitment, and there's so much you can do. There's so many things you can change. You'll be surprised. Okay. And there are people like me who are just floating around, ready to help you when you call on me. If you call on me, I'll come and speak. I will come. I'll share my knowledge or ask questions. You get me? And I'm not the only one. There are so many people. Regine online, she's available. I mean, there's so many people in the cybersecurity space and other spaces as well. Okay. So this is where networking is important. You leverage your network and whatever you determine you want to build. Okay. You can do so much in Lagos. So much. Whatever you want to build. Now, you know me, you know Ray, you know your colleagues, you know Gloria. What's up? Madam, please, are you free on this day? Come and speak to my people about this. That is the only way we can project our voices and make it this thing. Networking is important. Please, anybody who has come here and hasn't made friends, you are missing the whole essence of this coming together. This is your tribe. You need to make friends. Listen, every opportunity I've had to speak, and I've spoken on some big platforms, it's been through networking. People I don't even know on LinkedIn will just send you a message. This. Are you available? This. Do you want to come? And when you start those things, please, let me tell you, it's not always for monetary gain. There's a point where you can start charging. But I think for somebody like me, I just really want to impart my knowledge and help. They'll give me money today. When I'm going, I'll pass CBA and this, I'll buy a dress, it's finished. You get me. So sometimes let's look above the monetary gain and just try and help the younger generation and our nation, Ghana. Is that okay? Yes, okay. So strategies, policy is just so important. Anybody know of the Cybersecurity Authority? Yes, you work there? Okay, you work there. Okay. Oh, you work at the set. Okay, and I don't know you. You work at cybersecurity or NCA? Cybersecurity. Okay, all right. So cybersecurity came up with the registering and stuff like that. That's policy, isn't it? But one thing that they did consistently was gathering all of us, private, come together. We are putting this law in place. You need to speak to us. Give us your feedback about it. You get me? Because it's something that is affecting us, and a lot of dialogue happened. Every week they were inviting me. I'll say, okay, I'll go. My team members will go. When you were doing the CII, critical information infrastructure, electricity, if it goes down, we are all in trouble. It is critical to it's a critical infrastructure in Ghana. So we have to designate some places and then put some rules and laws in place that have to be followed for it. Okay. There was a lot of dialogue. So policy is so important. Okay. And in policy, you have to keep the dialogue open. Okay. We have a Ghanaian proverb saying, when you are drawing a line in the sand, you don't know your back is crooked. Somebody has to tell you. So you have good intentions. You're putting a policy in place. However, we, the ones who are affected by it, okay, or who have to implement it, we also have to come and give feedback into, okay, this will be easy to do. Maybe in telecoms it's easy. When you go to manufacturing, it might not be so easy. Totally different animal. Okay, so policy is one of the strategies. It's so important. And these policies have to be gender sensitive. Gender sensitive. Remember my first example about teaching the children in the village to swim. You have to be cognizant that the teenagers at some points in this thing, some of them cannot join you. I'm keeping you guys from lunch, so let me run through it. We need to promote digital and STEM education. I think I've talked a lot about that. Inadvertently, in everything that I've said, I have really gone through all the things I need to say. Community training programs, I say you can go to your mosque, you can go to your church, online courses and workshops. In fact, one of you can go on Instagram, go on live and decide to do a class. It will be kept. Am I lying? Yes, somebody can stumble upon this one day and say, oh, this thing is good. After 3 years, you start trending because you did that. Okay. And then, yes, the onus is upon us as a country, as private organizations to improve connectivity. We also have to look at the affordability, subsidized devices. There are subsidized devices there, but we like iPhone and Samsung. Am I lying? But there are subsidized devices. If you go, you get devices, good devices for under 1,000 Ghana. Am I lying? Maybe now the dollar is misbehaving, so it's gone up small. But you would get it. Okay. And then affordable data plans. So work needs to be done with the telecommunications companies, advocacy groups, advocate for these things. Advocate, for lower data plans. Edna, I hope you can hear me. Work with telecoms companies to offer affordable data plans tailored to the needs of women. Why doesn't Telecel or MTN or somebody have just a bundle for women? You see, it could work, or even on Mother's Day, do a promo for like a week for women. Yes, please. And Father's Day as well. Raise awareness, public campaigns, public campaigns, public campaigns. It is the most effective. I spoke earlier about mobile money and cabinet. It's purely social engineering. The only thing that will really make a dent in it is public campaigns. Okay? Advocate for inclusion. Find role models. Gloria, your story is wonderful. Where are you sharing your story? Who are you encouraging with it? You're just sitting on it at home. No. You need to encourage. And like I said, this young generation, Mr. Jima said, when they come, they're on TikTok, online, that's all they want to do. But are they being safe? Let's be safe online. You are not sharing your location. You're at a wedding. Everybody knows where you are. And you immediately you post on your status. Everybody knows where you are. Okay, let's be safe online. Let's try and be safe. Some of the things that we can do as well, gender responsive apps. I spoke about that, app for women. Think about, we are the ones who can solve our problems. Men cannot solve our problems for us. If there's anybody here who is going through menopause, a man will never understand. Only you. You can, yes, we can put together apps to collect this information and help ourselves. Okay, women-led networks. And if we don't start it, you can't be waiting for me to come and start. I'm waiting for you to start. We need to start them ourselves. And then through this, we can also look for financial support. There are so many, what should I call them? There's so much financial foreign aid willing to help these little things. Last year, I think, Ray, I saw you at the cybersecurity thing that happened. What was it called? GC3B. Did anybody else attend apart from Ray? You attended. How did you find it? There was so much to do. There was so much aid. Every time I pass it, they're like, hey, somebody call me, Jackie, they are doing this. So MTN, we are doing quite a lot. We just finished, every June, we do something called 30 days of yellow care. This year, we decided to do digital inclusion. We did digital farming and digital literacy. We'll pick a school in Accra. Kumasi will pick theirs. Other regions will pick theirs. So we went to Ebri Secondary, Presby Secondary Technical. If you know Ebri well, I'm an Ebri girl. So if you go like on the main road near the gardens, that's where you turn to the gardens, the school is there. And we went to teach them. We all taught the kids the whole month. And then we partnered with one of some, I can't remember their name, but they are doing digital farming. It was very interesting to learn and understand what they were doing. Okay. Last year we had the first MTN, we do something called business breakfast. I don't know who's heard of it. Last year in October, we did the first business breakfast on cybersecurity. I went to Beggar and they gave me small, and we did it for SMEs. SMEs will not be able to hire a CISO. Even one cyber person, they might not be able to have. Okay, but if we put together programs like this for them, encourage them, and give them that understanding, they'll be able to put in basic cyber hygiene rules for themselves. Okay. Ministry of Communication and Digitalization is also doing the girls in ICT. We are fully supported them, giving them some money to do it. And so far, they've trained over 120,000 girls. Okay, and in ICT, basic ICT and robotics. And this is mainly in the rural areas and in the hinterland. So there's a lot going on in Ghana as well. Okay, we're doing a digital skills lab. I think you heard of it, $25,000. Okay, we broke ground. Where was it? I can't remember exactly the area, it just escaped me. But there's a lot that we are also doing as a community across the entire digital divide and specifically in the gender place too as well. Okay. So moving on, I'm just come to conclude. My conclusion is a charge to you. I'm charging everybody here. Think about it. What can you do to help? How can you get involved? Why does this matter? As future leaders, and I don't even call you future, as the leaders and innovators in the realm of internet governance, I believe you all hold the power to drive meaningful change in the world. to have the conversation. Some of you are well on your way, you know. We'll call upon you to, make that decision to take a little step to do something. Like I said, it doesn't have to be much. Go to your Sunday school. Maybe one child will listen to you. Do you know who that child will be in the future? Eric, with all your security knowledge, who have you impacted? Yourself. Sorry. You. Yes, but yes. As much as we are talking about women here, it's for everybody. And I think security is just so important. But you see, people just close their minds when they feel you are come to talk about it. Close their minds. Okay. Maybe we can be the people who would simplify it and make it understandable, make it more approachable, make it more interesting. Knowing that you can work in a company and turn up with a hairstyle pool like mine. You want to talk, but they can't say anything. But you are there. You get me? So it's up to us. We cannot spend 4 days. Don't forget your online time. When I said you people, you finished. To me, I didn't finish. I saw this as I was lying. This thing is a lot. I got to have, I was like, Charlie, I can't finish this. I have things to do. And I had to leave it. You see, you guys have finished that. You're doing 4 days. This is your second day. You are well on your way. The sky is total. It's not, the sky is a limitation. The sky at this point is a limitation. There's so much you can do. You can start small. I think on the last day, Ray said you share his story, how he started this. You know, Ray is a international household name now. You get me? And he started one step at a time. Am I lying? He'll tell you his story. So I'm encouraging you, advocate for inclusive policies, promote digital literacy, support female entrepreneurs, champion online safety, foster gender diversity in tech. Mr. Jima, when you own your Fortune 500 company, please be employing women, even though they are not serious. Participate in research and advocacy. Nothing meaningful would be easy. It will definitely take a sacrifice. But I dare say the fruits of your labor would always be very satisfying to you. Let's keep an eye on our younger ones, especially those in the public schools who don't have access to these kind of information. Remember, they are also online with no boundaries whatsoever. We went to some school to have a talk. Cybersecurity month in October. Go to secondary schools, go and advise them. And one of the girls answered questions very forward and just talking to her, I said, are you on TikTok? When she sent me her TikTok, I was like, hey, is this a grown-up or is a child? The dancing, the things she was wearing. I was like, this is, and the internet never forgets you. Thank you. So these are some of the conversations we need to have. Master, monsieur. You have to take this back to your organizations or your country. It's more like it. Funny enough, Benin and Cote d'Ivoire, they are MTN there. I have colleagues there who I talk to. You have to take this up and we have to start having conversations about it. We can't sweep it under the rug. Otherwise, as these people are growing, but there's always a remnant. Am I lying? There's a remnant, but it's up to us to bring up that remnant. Online, are we okay? Are there any questions there? We need to share ideas, volunteer, gender equity committee. Now I've heard Gloria's story. I'll take your number. If I get anything, don't you think I'll push it to her? Mr. Jima, if I get some training gig, don't you think I'll call you? Yes. And I've told you already, utilize your network. It's so important. When you come to these things, if you are shy, please, that they put your shy away. Yes, utilize your networks. It's through people that you get to, other places. Utilize your networks. Make make friends with people. Everybody can contribute something meaningful to your life or to the sphere in which you are in. Utilize your networks. It's very important. Together, we can make a difference. Not alone, we can make a little difference. Together, we can make a big difference. I'll end here. She's looking at me. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Wow. Wow, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Wow, wow. There's a lot to do. There are lots of conversations to have. There are lots of questions. And time is running out.
Time is running out. Forgive me. I got comfortable with you.
No, it's not your fault, you know, because of the rain, we got distracted from morning. So we've just been trying to. So there are 2 hands up. I know we still have questions here. That's why I'm Eric. Yes. So please make it very snappy, okay? So that let's go to online, then we'll get back.
Okay. So
forgive me.
Please,
so we have so we'll get it. So we have all hands raised. So we'll take Oliver. Oliver, your hand has been absent. So please unmute and go ahead. Okay. Yes, Oliver. Yes, I can see you unmuted. So go ahead.
We can't hear Oliver.
Okay, so Oliver, we can't hear you. So Edna, you come. Oliver, get ready. Yeah, so Oliver, if you are not, all right, go ahead then. And then Edna, get ready.
Okay, so I am Ayengo Oliver speaking from Nigeria. Hello to Madam Jacqueline.
Hello, Oliver.
I listened carefully with through your presentation. It was nice. However, I hear certain, we call it disparities. You know, the internet is good, but then you said it yourself, the internet does not forget. You say again that everybody wants to be on the internet. When you gave an example with somebody being on a trip, a very nice trip, you want to put it on the net so that people will get involved. But I think I read the psychology of most women. They don't want to put everything about their life on the internet. So how can you balance between the good aspect of the internet and then the ills, the insecurity in the internet? So how can you balance those people who fear to get involved and bring them on, and then also the insecurities that is putting them off from getting involved? That's my concern.
Thank you for your question, Oliver. Oliver, there's two very different areas. There's that for using the internet for your work and sort of economic and other things. And there's also posting your personal life online. Do you know you could have a full internet presence as pertains to some work you're doing and nobody would even know your face because you've never put a picture of you. Like I said, I buy a lot from Instagram, and you go to some profiles, maybe I'll see a nice wig, red wig, and you will never know whether it's in Ghana, it's in Nigeria. They'll just say we ship worldwide. So morally, the onus is upon you to limit what you share with the public, okay? You don't, that's the fact that the internet never forgets should not stop you from participating in its beneficial sides. But you have to limit what you are sharing. If I am selling clothes online, I don't need to be posting pictures of me in indecent clothing. It's not necessary. I don't need to let anybody know where I live. Like I said, there are some profiles you go to. You even know whether they are in Ghana, they are in Lagos, or they are in Kenya. You will never know where they are. They will just say we ship online. Maybe if you look at the pictures where she's standing, you don't know. Maybe she's in her room in the US. Maybe she's an international student who buys clothes small, tries them in her room, puts them online, and you buy it. Okay, so the onus is upon you, but to use the internet in a very responsible manner. And although that might not come very naturally for maybe some of the younger ones or even older people who don't know the dangers of the internet. I think that was part of my call for us to be the people who educate other people on how much exposure we have online. Somebody can be sitting here, have taken a picture, even put my session, and the video is on their status. Is that level of exposure necessary? When you finish, maybe you could have done Twitter, join Ghana, EGIGFA, very insightful, listen to Madam Jackie or Jackie speak, call to action. Twitter, that is all. You don't need to put pictures, but somebody else might decide to take a whole video of all of us and put all our faces on her status. Oliver, please, am I making sense? So it's very much a personal choice, and we who know better need to be able to advise those who don't have any idea about being safe online. The fact that the internet never forgets should never preclude you from doing anything online. Remember, I gave an example. I said, you'll be bored one day, you go on IG Live, and you talk about something. Nobody will see it. For 3 years, one day somebody will pick it up, and it will resonate with the person so much, you will go viral of that 3 years later. The internet never forgets, but it has worked for you. It's a good thing. You get me? So the fact that the internet never forgets should not preclude you or strike fear in your heart to say you would never participate. It has to be used like everything else in a very responsible manner. Oliver, please, are we aligned?
Yes.
Yes,
That's
I
good.
believe.
In a very
Yes.
responsible manner. That's good.
Yes.
Thank you, Oliver. So quickly, Edna, and then Nicole. So Edna first, Nicole. Please, snappy, so that we can respond to the two at once. So Edna,
Okay.
please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. I gave you a standing ovation, even though you can't see me, Jacqueline. I resonated with a lot of the things you said.
Thank you,
And most
Edna.
of the contributions and questions I have, you've already tackled. But just to touch on the gender sensitive content online that you spoke about, I think a lot of collaboration also has to be done between us and then the communications ministry, information ministry, and then probably the cybersecurity authority as well, because of late we see a lot of content online, TV, radio, TV, all over the place, and you wonder whether there's any regulations around that. So I think that as part of our conversations and partnership, we need to look at those areas also. There are so many things that our children are being exposed to now, and you wonder whether there's any regulations around those things. And to the charge that you gave us, indeed, October is the Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and in my facility, I'm organizing some workshops around awareness creation and some education on cybersecurity. And so I'll be touching base with you and some others in the space to see how best we can do things in our little corners, just to help raise awareness.
Thank you, Edna.
So thank you so much. All right, thank you.
I think at the end of the presentation, where it says thank you, my email address is there. So if you want to contact me, it's the fastest way. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Nicole, yes, please go ahead, Nicole.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity. Hello, Madam Jacqueline. That was quite an insightful presentation. So I wanted to ask, what metric should be used to measure the progress in breaching the gender and digital divides? Yeah, that's my question.
Nicole, can you take it again? We didn't quite get it.
Oh, okay. I was asking what metrics should be used to measure the progress in bridging the gender and digital divides, basically.
Okay, so Nicole, there won't be just one matrix because we are doing things over several different platforms and disciplines. Okay, we've talked about digital literacy. So if you want to say digital literacy and your target area is you've got a target area, okay, maybe the area you live in, there are 20 13 to 12 to 15-year-olds, 15 and above. You put them in a category, you put a matrix on them to see how well they are trained. So the matrix really is dependent, or the measurement is dependent on what area you are functioning in. Are you doing digital literacy? Okay. What other area are you looking at? That is where you'll be able to, when you determine what your size is or who you are dealing with, that's how you'll be able to measure. We can't put a general measurement for everything, and one size won't fit all. Okay, because there are so many different things that you are putting in place. Are you putting a policy in place? How do you measure the implementation of a policy? That will come in, that conversation will now come up when you put a policy in place. But if you are doing digital literacy, then you have to sort of measure by the standards. How many people took it? Was that an exam? Did they pass? Is it understanding? Or they are like Mr. Jimen's girls who come and are not serious? You get me? So Nicole, it won't be a one size fits all. You won't just have one standard or one matrix to be able to measure. It will depend on the field in which you are playing. But there will always be measurements, okay, for effectiveness.
All right, great. So please, let's say I'm going to use a criteria. If I've heard your voice today, then so
please, I promised Erico. Okay.
Thank you for the good presentation.
Thank you.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
For all fellows. To be reduce the digital divide, all fellows in there are represented to be represented of region where who from.
Your region is even far. Households, families, church communities. Region is big. Maybe you can't impact your region, but you can impact a smaller group. Do you understand where I'm going? You understand?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. I see. If after GhanaSIG, the fellow come back to the region, it is in digital. The motivation is very important. It is the beginning to start the adventure in digital. It is necessary to help all people to interest in the digital, because it's the beginning. If people are interested of digital, it is these people who want to seek different opportunity to involve their skill and knowledge.
Yeah.
So I invite all fellow, if you come back to your region, please help all people in your errand to develop interesting in the digital. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Yes. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you.
That was inspiring.
Thank you.
Listening to Alex and Oliver online, I dare say that it is true that the only person who can tell the women's story is the women themselves.
Yes.
I don't think the men can ever understand us.
Never.
Or tell us or tell our story the way it is.
Never.
Yes, the best person is we ourselves. And so I thank EGIGFA and GhanaSIG for this forum.
Yeah.
Because as educated as I am, when I got the invitation, Ray would tell you the number of times I called him or emailed him, WhatsApped him to ask him, is it technical? Is it difficult? Is there going to be exam? Are you sure I'll pass? Because that is our, yes, he will tell you.
Yes,
exactly.
It's very real. Yes.
I can crack a lot of nuts, but when it comes to, like you said, the shatter comes. So nobody can tell our story like we ourselves.
Yeah.
So the solution lies in what Edna said, advocacy.
Yeah.
That is what we have to do to get our women on board.
Yeah.
And so sitting here, I've already developed 2 projects
for
EGIGFA to help us resolve. And I liked it when you said there's money out there. Because for Parliament, for example, we have 40 women. 20 from each side.
Yeah.
And they are making the policies and the laws.
Yeah.
How much do they know about the internal governance
Thank
space?
you.
Nothing.
Yeah.
How much do they know that they need to know to even affect the policies they are doing for other sectors?
Yeah.
And so we have to advocate and get them on board in a very safe space for them,
yeah,
where they can relax and take in, as I've come to sit here. Yeah. Because the barriers were broken for me and I was encouraged to come here.
Yeah.
If you had told me it's a workshop of cyber security, before I even entered the room, I'm wearing some, yes, that this is not a place for me.
Yeah.
They're going to talk jargons,
Yeah.
but there's been a safe space and it's allowed me to flow and understand, and I'm making progress.
Yes.
That I want to go and share. So it's only the women.
Yeah.
So in your own spaces, let's all encourage the women to come on board.
Exactly.
And give them the support so that they can tell their own story, cook their own food, and eat their own meal. Thank you.
Amen. I like that. Thank you.
Okay, so
Thank you very
let
much.
me see the hands.
Please, Eric and Alaju. Hey, Eric. Hey, Eric, what have you done to this lady?
Hello, madam.
Hi.
Thank you for the presentation. It was very inspiring. Thank you. I want to make some small comments. It's not really a question, but it's based on the internet, the use of internet on gender-based.
Yeah.
I think the difference is not too much, because unless, as are the metrics that someone said online, unless we are looking from the point that we want it to be 50-50. But when it's, as it stands now, the use of internet on social media for women is 41.2 and for men is 58.8. It means women are really doing well. And the use of in regional-based Ghana,
yeah,
we are among the top 10 countries. We shouldn't go outside top.
Yeah.
At some point, we are even number 1 in terms of usage of internet. So if we are, let's say we are number 1, and we have women with 41%, it means that like women, they are already doing well. It's about how they are using the internet.
That's one.
It's
Yes.
about
how they are using it, how
they are-
profitable. Yes.
Exactly. That's
your
one.
time on the internet, because you know you can spend the whole day scrolling, doing nothing.
Exactly. And from where I'm coming from, there are lots of cases, sextortion cases.
Yes. Yep.
Online blackmail.
Yeah.
Yeah, sextortion, online blackmail.
Yeah.
All those cases coming from and those cases, most of the victims are women
100%.
or ladies.
Yeah.
Few guys they report such cases.
Yes.
So it means it can tell you what women are doing online with the internet. And when it comes to the involvement of women in technology, there's a lot effort being put in place, looking at the girls in ICT.
Yeah.
You already said that they've already trained about 120,000 women. There's Hair Cybertrack.
Yeah.
There's girls in
Hair Cybertrack, ITU.
Yes,
I'm a mentor. Yeah.
Yes, there's cyber girls.
Yeah.
And there's women in
Confidence
cyber
AV.
security. That is WESIX.
Yeah.
And all this agenda is for women.
Yes.
And they are getting all this training.
But it's not enough.
But one challenge for me that I think is when people are talking to women in terms of IT and technology and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that where they don't ponder is that they try to pitch the idea of coding and networking stuff to them. And the IT field is very broad that they can do.
So just close.
Yes. Because like everybody wants, like they want to see a girl coding. They want to see a girl handling Linux. It's not realistic, because even as all the guys that we are here, if you ask them how many can they code, or how many of them can handle a Linux system, you get like 1 or 2. So it's not out of place to see maybe like a group of women that one person can't be a software like developer or something. So I think that they are doing well. We're trying to find out where their interest is in the technology space, because you can be someone managing IT technicians as a woman, or as a woman, or a lady, not necessarily you being the one fixing the cables, writing the code and stuff. You can handle some.
Eric, let me add something to that. I think that's what motivates me to do this, because like I said, I did not come from a technical background. In school, my A level, what did I do? West African traditional religion, history and literature. I didn't even do economics. So when I went to university, I went to Ghana Business School. I did banking and finance, and I ended here. The networking and stuff, it's a part of it, but it's not the end all and be all. Okay. Advocating for women to come into digital inclusion doesn't mean, like Eric said, I love your point. You have to be coding. Oh, you have to understand that the entire world is embarked on a digital journey and you have to be part of it. So what part do you come in and where can you leverage it to make life easier for yourself and make profitable decisions economically for you and the community which you are in, all the while using it responsibly? So all of you who like scrolling in the morning, when you're scrolling, remember my face and say, have you read your Bible?
All right. So Jacqueline, you see why I didn't give him? He didn't have a question.
No, but it was a very profitable.
Yes,
very profitable.
Yeah,
yes,
I agree. Yeah,
very profitable thing. Yeah.
Don't worry, because of time, other colleagues are hungry. Okay, so don't worry. We'll have more time to continue
This voluntary fasting.
conversations.
The lady over there, she's so hungry.
All right. So on this note, I think we've enjoyed the session. There's more questions than we have time for.
I'll wait for 5 minutes and you can come and talk to me privately. Mr. Jimadi, I want to talk to you, please.
Yes.
And you too.
But just so you know, we didn't seek your permission, but then we just wanted to alert you that you are now a faculty member.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
So
you know what? There are not many places I go and speak that I feel this free. Last time I felt very free. I feel very free here. And you will not understand how much I admire you for doing this. I told him I didn't finish. I did not finish. When I saw the online, I say, what, me? Sit down and do this. I can't. And I ran away. Okay, so this is very admirable. Please don't take what you're doing for granted. It's a very admirable thing. I've noticed now we are all busy in a hurry. Mr. Jima said, they'll come to class, card their own phone. Me, if I sit down, if you give me 2 minutes, the way I'm organizing my life, do this, call this one, do this one, do this one on the phone, on WhatsApp. It's amazing, okay? But to be able to invest time to learn, listen, a learning mindset, you can never go wrong in life. Okay, so congratulations to all of you.
Thank you very much. So to just show appreciation, Agbinku and then Wendy, please come. Please come.
This is an EGIGFA t-shirt. You should have give it to me so I wear it here. Ray, next time give me the t-shirt early so that I can wear it when I'm coming. I was actually wearing jeans and an MTN t-shirt and I changed. Oh, this is beautiful. Yes, so I didn't want it. Thank you very much. This is beautiful. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
This is from us to you to appreciate you.
Please, to me, it's a faculty member, Jacqueline.
Yes, faculty member, Jacqueline. So just to show that we appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
We are grateful for what God is using you for.
Thank you, Karen. I'm very grateful. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.